This video has been automatically generated from an article written by Martin Freiland. That's me on martinfreiland.com. If you watch a lot of television, you often see experts passing by who supposedly work for independent institutes. In the Netherlands, these are usually experts from the Clingendael Institute, but in recent years especially from the Hague Center for Strategic Studies, HCSS, founded by Rob de Wijk of the same Clingendael Institute. You know them, experts like Rob de Wijk himself, but also Patrick Bolder, Tom Middendorp, and many others who, for example, report on the war in Ukraine. These experts receive an income through the HCSS, but when they are at the table of a talk show, they are allowed to do so privately as experts and receive a fee that the average Dutch person would have to work for at least a month to earn. And it is not the case that you should think that the influence of these experts is not significant. They are the source of information on the state of affairs in alleged wars in 100% of the cases. Today, the Telegraph came with a message in which the number of victims in the so-called Ukraine war was mentioned. A quote from that article. According to defense expert Patrick Bolder from the Hague Center for Strategic Studies, HCSS, the numbers from the U.S.-based Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, seem the most realistic. In a report published last month, this organization mentioned 1.2 million Russian casualties. This is an umbrella term for soldiers who have been killed, injured, or are missing. The CSIS estimates the Russian death toll at least 325,000. Okay, so then it must be correct, right? After all, it is an expert from the HCSS, which refers to a similar kind of independent institute in the U.S., who reports that, and that is not just anyone. No, that is right. That is someone who is literally funded by the state. Below you will find an overview of the top 5 sponsors, directly from the website of the HCSS. Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Netherlands. Ministry of Defense, Netherlands Dutch National Police. TNO Defense Safety and Security, U.S. Department of Defense. And this is what HCSS says about itself. Quote, HCSS is a knowledge institute that conducts independent research. Our goal is to provide fact-based analyses of the challenges our societies face, to inform public debate, strategic decision-making in the public and private sectors, and to contribute to international and national security in line with liberal democratic values. We typically conduct our research at the intersection of scientific research and strategic policy for governments, international organizations, and NGOs. You may explain it to me. So you receive millions in research funding from the government itself, or from foreign governments, or from parties that themselves receive their funding from governments. It seems to be a kind of money circulation machine. And then claim that you conduct independent research? That is like the butcher who establishes and finances his own Hague Center for Independent Butchery Beauty Assessment, and then lets the experts from that HCSS appear on TV and in the newspapers to talk about how well the butchery is doing. It is absolutely not independent, but as long as you claim to be independent, no one seems to ask further questions. So the HCSS receives millions per year from government agencies, and the ladies and gentlemen working for the Institute are probably mostly hired as consultants or advisors, allowing them to receive not just a meager salary, according to the Balkan and the norm, but a little more. In addition, they are allowed to receive all kinds of media gigs, and that pays well in times of war or the appearance of war. They fare better than the average farmer. The simple conclusion we can draw here is that everything you hear or see in the media is completely biased, totally not independent, and therefore completely unreliable. Well, that is not a conclusion you can just draw. Yes, that is the conclusion you are indeed allowed to draw. But we have become so proper and correct that we can no longer accept the most simple logic. It is the system itself that pays its own experts to steer your perception. So next time you watch Powell and DeWitt, WNL, or other talk shows, and you hear an expert speak, consider that you're watching the butcher's own inspectors. They are experts in propagating the desired image. Okay, that's it again. Share and like this video, and until next time.